evening, and welcome to FPTV News. My name is Matthew Dresselhaus.
And I'm Sean Ellison.
Help us out.
Donald Trump said today that he thinks it was right for America to invade Afghanistan after September 11th, 2001. The statement he said today actually contradicts what he said only a few weeks ago, when he said to CNN's New Day, "We made a mistake going into Iraq. I've never said we made a mistake going into Afghanistan." On October 6th, also on CNN's New Day, Trump said, "At some point, are they going to be there for the next 200 years? At some point, what's going on? It's going to be a long time. We made a terrible mistake getting involved there in the first place. We had real brilliant thinkers that didn't know what the hell they were doing, and it's a mess. And at this point, you probably have to stay because that thing will collapse in about 2 seconds after I leave, just as I said that Iraq was going to collapse after we leave. The White House plans to still have 9,800 soldiers to remain in Afghanistan for 2016. Justin Trudeau has officially won the Canadian elections for becoming the next Prime Minister of Canada. Trudeau leads the Liberal Party of Canada and won by a landslide against the current Prime Minister, Stephen Harper. Justin Trudeau had a high chance of winning the election because of his father, Pierre Trudeau, was the former Prime Minister of Canada for 16 years, from 1968 to 1984, and is a Canadian icon. Justin, only 43 years old, was recently becoming more and more popular only weeks before the polls. Many of Trudeau's criticizers claim that Justin is using the family name and father's achievements as ways to help him become more known. Stephen Harper has been elected for over 10 years, and losing this election as a conservative was a big blow for him and his party. El Chapo Guzman has recently found and chased by Mexican authorities, but was able to evade them again, though he suffered injuries to his face and leg. The operation was carried out in northwestern Mexico, where intelligence was tracking a likely place for Guzman to show up in. Guzman has been on the run since July when he escaped from the maximum security prison, Altiplano Federal Prison, which became a mockery from Mexico, since the United States wanted to personally hold on to Guzman because of how dangerous he is. Ever since his escape, there have been 34 people arrested that have been connected to aiding him, including the pilot that flew him away after he drove through the tunnel underneath the prison.
Now let's go into some sports. On Saturday, the Sprint football team was shut out by Army 24-0. Brandon Knight had a strong game on defense for the Ravens with a fumble forced, a fumble recovered, and an interception. Quarterback Derek Reddy threw for 222 yards in the loss. The loss drops the Ravens to 2-3 on the year. The men's soccer team went 0-1-1 last week with a loss at Merrimack and a tie with the Delphi. Charlie Madden and Marius Preber scored against the Delphi, and it was Madden's first goal of the year and it was Preber's fifth, which gave the Ravens a brief lead in the 63rd minute until Delphi tied the score in the 73rd minute. The game ended in a 2-2 draw. Preber also scored the lone goal against Merrimack to give the Ravens a 1-0 lead, but Merrimack scored twice later to win the game. After this week, the Ravens' record stands at 4-7-2. The next game is Wednesday at Bentley. Last week, the women's soccer team went 1-1 with a 1-0 home win against St. Anselm and a 3-0 loss at the hands of the Delphi. Nelina Valedon scored the lone goal of the week for the Lady Ravens in the 33rd minute against St. Anselm. Casey Cook earned the shutout in that game, making 3 saves. The team stands at 6-6 going into their matchup against American International tonight at 6 p.m. on Sodexo Field. The volleyball team continues to dominate any 10 competition. The team has won 5 out of their last 6 matches and went 1-1 last week. The team lost to American International by a score of 3-1, and then they bounced back to knock off Stonehill presets to do. And that is your weekly sports report.
Even after almost half a century ago, the United States and Spain are still cleaning up the radioactive waste that hit the Spanish countryside near Palomares in 1966 when a B-52 bomber and a KC-135 refueling plane crashed in the air and left the B-52 bomber's payload to create radioactivity all around the village. This accident was one of the worst nuclear disasters since during the Cold War. The problem is that the soil is radioactive, so that means that all the soil in and around the village was dug up and shipped away. There's still areas around the village that have been contaminated soil, and that means more money needs to be spent to remove the soil. The Spanish have been leading the cleanup, but it has come up in the news for having high levels of radiation still present. With so many supporters wanting him to run for president, Joe Biden has still not announced he is running for presidency. There are only 9 days left for the candidates to officially run for their state parties, and Biden is still not revealing that he will run. October 29th is the final deadline, but candidates that are too late can still be considered to be eligible to run by the state's executive committee. Many people have predicted that he will be running within the next 3 days, though he has been avoiding questions relating to him running for president. If he does run, he is very likely to be competition for Hillary Clinton. It is only a few weeks of running since he has so much support for him to run. A possible factor for him to wait until the last minute to run is that Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton's campaigns slow down. Biden can get immediate coverage and have an impact on the polls. Thank you for tuning in tonight. My name is Matthew Dresselhaus.
And I'm Sean Ellison.
We're signing off. Thank you.